Scene script. Have you ever stopped to wonder how many different ways there are to think about a problem or a situation? Our minds are fascinating and intricate, capable of processing information in a myriad of ways. Each day we use our thinking to navigate the world around us, make decisions, solve problems, and create new ideas. Yet how often do we stop to consider the power contained within our thoughts? There are various types of thinking, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Some of us excel in logical thinking, others in creative or emotional thinking, and some even in critical thinking. These different styles allow us to perceive and interact with our world in unique and diverse ways. Every decision we make, every problem we solve, every idea we create, they all begin with a thought. The power of thinking is immense. Understanding the different types of thinking can help us to approach problems more effectively and creatively. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. First, let's explore logical thinking, the cornerstone of rational decision-making. Logical thinking is like the compass of the mind. It's the process of using reasoning consistently to come to a conclusion. It's about making connections between ideas, identifying patterns, and making correct inferences. The beauty of logical thinking is in its universality. Whether you're a scientist trying to crack the code of a complex formula, a detective piecing together clues from a crime scene, or a chef trying to perfect a recipe, logical thinking is your best ally. It is the foundation of every rational decision, allowing us to evaluate situations, analyze information objectively, and solve problems effectively. But how can we enhance our logical thinking abilities? The answer lies in constant practice. Engaging in critical thinking exercises such as brain teasers, puzzles, and logical reasoning problems can help sharpen our logical thinking skills. Reading books that challenge our perspective and make us question our assumptions can also stimulate our logical thinking processes. Furthermore, cultivating an attitude of curiosity and openness to new ideas can foster logical thinking. After all, it's about questioning everything around us, seeking explanations, and not just accepting things at face value. In essence, logical thinking is not just about solving problems, but also about understanding the world in a rational and objective way. With logical thinking, we can make decisions that are backed by reason and evidence. Now let's dive into the world of creative thinking, where innovation and originality thrive. Creative thinking is like a breath of fresh air. It's that spark of ingenuity that fuels breakthroughs, and it's the heartbeat of every groundbreaking invention. Unlike logical thinking, which relies on clear-cut facts and established rules, creative thinking is all about coloring outside the lines. It's about seeing the world not as it is, but as it could be. So how does one become a creative thinker? Well, it's not about being born with a special gene. It's about embracing curiosity and cultivating an open mind. It's about challenging the status quo and daring to ask, what if? One way to foster creativity is by engaging in artistic activities. Paint, draw, write, or play a musical instrument. These activities don't just relax the mind, they also stimulate it, encouraging it to think in unconventional ways. Another method is through brainstorming sessions. Rather than focusing on finding the right answer, let your mind wander. Explore different ideas, no matter how outlandish they may seem. Remember, today's absurdity can be tomorrow's innovation. Creative thinking isn't about discarding logic completely. Rather, it's about using logic as a springboard to leap into the realm of imagination. It's a vital tool for problem-solving, innovation, and progress. Creative thinking enables us to break out of traditional mindsets and explore new possibilities. So go ahead, let your mind roam free. Who knows what wonders you might discover? Next up is critical thinking, the key to making informed and balanced judgments. Critical thinking is often likened to a mental gym workout. It flexes your judgment muscles, enabling you to evaluate information, discern between fact and opinion, and make well-reasoned decisions. In an era of information overload, critical thinking is a lifeline that guides us through the sea of data, separating the wheat from the chaff. So how does one strengthen this vital cognitive power? It begins with a healthy dose of curiosity and probing questions. Asking why or how can lead you down a path of discovery, revealing layers of insight that might not be immediately apparent. It's like turning a kaleidoscope to see a different pattern. By questioning the status quo, we encourage our minds to delve deeper and think beyond the surface. Another key component is reflective thinking. This is a process of stepping back, examining your thought process, and analyzing the way you've arrived at a conclusion. It's a kind of mental debriefing that allows you to identify any biases or assumptions that may have influenced your thinking. This introspective practice can reveal insights about your reasoning and offer opportunities for improvement. Remember, critical thinking is not about finding fault or criticizing, but rather about evaluating information in a balanced way. It's about understanding the world around us in a clearer, more nuanced light. Critical thinking allows us to evaluate information objectively and make reasoned judgments. Finally, let's delve into emotional thinking, which often drives our interactions and reactions. Emotional thinking is that part of our cognitive process that is dictated by feelings. It's that voice inside us that sings the songs of joy, whispers the words of fear, or screams the lines of anger. It's an integral part of our decision-making process, often acting as the fuel to our actions and reactions. Emotional thinking can be both a boon and a bane. On the positive side, it allows us to empathize with others, to feel compassion, to celebrate happiness. It's what makes us human, what connects us to each other. On the flip side, uncontrolled emotional thinking can lead to irrational decisions, to clouded judgment, to actions we might regret later. So, how can we harness emotional thinking to our advantage? It's all about emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions. Emotional intelligence training can help us navigate the sea of our feelings to steer our emotional thinking towards constructive outcomes. Another powerful tool in managing emotional thinking is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness allows us to be present in the moment, to acknowledge our feelings without being overwhelmed by them. It provides us the space to respond rather than react, to make decisions that are not just emotionally charged, but also thoughtfully considered. Emotional thinking, when well managed, can lead to deeper connections and better understanding of ourselves and others. Now that we've explored the different types of thinking, it's important to realize that they often work together. The interplay of thinking styles is like a well-tuned orchestra, where each instrument plays a role in creating a harmonious symphony. Let's consider a scenario. Imagine you're launching a new product. Logical thinking might guide the technical design, ensuring it functions as intended. Meanwhile, creative thinking sparks innovative ideas for its features or appearance. Critical thinking then steps in to evaluate potential flaws and improve the design. Finally, emotional thinking helps you empathize with your target customers, understanding their wants and needs. The beauty of this interplay is that each style of thinking complements and enhances the others. Logical and critical thinking provide a solid foundation, while creative and emotional thinking add color and depth. As a result, the end product is not only functional but also appealing and user-friendly. But how do we switch between these thinking styles? Well, it's a skill that can be honed with practice. Start by recognizing the type of thinking you naturally gravitate towards. Then intentionally engage other styles. For instance, if you're a logical thinker, try exercises that stimulate creativity, like brainstorming or doodling. Conversely, if you're usually creative, challenge yourself with logical puzzles or debates. Moreover, consider the context. Some situations may call for a particular style of thinking. For example, when making a decision under pressure, logical or critical thinking might be most useful. On the other hand, in a brainstorming session, creative thinking could take the lead. By actively practicing this cognitive flexibility, you can become adept at switching between thinking styles when needed. This versatility can significantly enhance your problem-solving abilities, innovation, and decision-making processes. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all thinking style. Each has its strengths and weaknesses, and their interplay can create a powerful synergy. By understanding and harnessing the power of different types of thinking, we can become more effective problem solvers, innovators, and decision makers.